Hi guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome back to another video. God, do I even remember how to do this? So today we're going to be randomly generating 3 emojis and then using those as drawing prompts. Hopefully I'll remember to link the random emoji generator I used in the description below. Also, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to watch more of my videos afterwards. I have plenty of content and a lot of the videos I'm sure you haven't seen, so make sure to check them out. And on with the video. So first prompt that I generated was apple, ice cream, and then a duck. When I saw this, I immediately connected the apple and ice cream and decided I could make apple flavored ice cream, even though I've never seen that before, but it's a thing now. Then I could have a duck character eating the ice cream. Pretty simple concept, except I don't really know how to draw ducks that well, which is embarrassing because I have a character who turns into a duck, but I don't know. I really need to do like a video or something where I just practice drawing animals. So I feel like the head on this duck is way too like smooth and round. I don't want to say it's perfect, but like when you think about a bird, they're like, you know, feathery. But this duck's just kind of smooth, so it doesn't look quite right. Now it's less obvious with the other parts because like the wings are covering the body and the wings are obviously feathery. So the head just looks wrong. Also, the way like the body just ends, I tried to do like, you know, kind of human proportions in some way. I guess I could have drawn like an actual duck eating an ice cream, but I didn't think about that. So we have an anthropomorphic duck. So since duck legs are like, you know, just skinny little legs, it looks wrong with like this human-sized body and then these skinny legs. At least I think that's what's wrong. It just feels wrong how it suddenly ends there and then goes into those legs that are so far apart. I also made the legs too long at first, so I had to shorten those down. Also, it didn't look like this in the sketch, but once I actually drew the ice cream, it turned out really big. I mean, it's fine, just especially the cone, you can't see the whole thing, but it's definitely super long. And the scoop is just kind of oversized. I mean, hey, just more ice cream for the duck, right? I do really like how I drew the ice cream though, because I tried to give it a bit of texture, and I feel like I did that okay. At least for the first time drawing ice cream. Have I not drawn ice cream before? Oh my god. That just feels like something that at some point, you know, you draw, but like, I can't think of a time when I've drawn ice cream. I've probably done it at some point. Also for the ice cream, I stuck a little apple in it just so it was super clear that this was apple flavored ice cream. So for the colors, I based them all directly off of the emojis. So like the apple's green. I made the ice cream a bit more green tinted than the actual one since it's supposed to be apple flavored, but it's still fairly light. And then the duck, I pretty much copied exactly, well, not exactly. I just copied the pattern on that duck. I ran into some trouble like replicating that wing pattern, but I think I got the hang of it by the end. Then shading. So I tried something a little different with the shading this time. So I've been trying to shade with only one color a lot because I have to produce a lot of artwork in a short amount of time. So I tend to take shortcuts or just be lazy because it's a lot. So a lot of times I'll do my shading in black only, And I've never liked the look of that, and I'm pretty sure you're like not supposed to do that for like various art reasons, but I'm not technically educated in that. I just don't like how it looks. And there's this artist that I watch on YouTube, Lavender Town, and she does her shading a lot of the times in one color, but something other than black. I think the most common one I can think of is like a pink. So I tried to do that here. Most of it was fairly easy. Some areas need a darker red than I had originally created, like the browns, but it all looked fine in the end for the most part. It looks like shading. That's kind of been my worry, that it just won't look like it's shading and like there's a weird color overlay. But it does kind of look like it's shaded, especially in like the ice cream or the beak. Some areas are less successful, like technically the legs should look good because of the color, but maybe the colors are just too similar, so I don't really like how the shading looks there. But it was good enough for me to keep it. Then I didn't really put in a background, I just put in a color. I couldn't think of any particular background unless I wanted to draw something super elaborate. Maybe I could have just drawn a park or something. I don't know. I just went with a basic color with some shading to separate the character from the background more. And then it was done. I like it. It's fairly simple, fairly cute. Just something small. So the next set of emojis I generated were pear, cake, and butter. So immediately my brain went to like a kitchen and someone baking. So there's like this little kitchen island and it has like some frosting in a stand mixer, which is supposedly pear flavored, though the color does end up being green. And now that I think about it, I don't think pear frosting would be that. So I guess they dyed it. Otherwise, I'm concerned what that frosting actually is. So then there's a really thin piece of butter for some reason. I don't know why I made it that thin. Next to a perfectly clean knife, despite plenty of objects around it being cut. Then there's a cutting board with some pears on it. One that's a whole pear and then a couple sliced pears, which the sliced pears don't really look like pears. They're actually more apple slices because their shape is just kind of curved, but like it looks like just a part of a circle compared to how a pear slice is, where it mimics that shape of the rest of that pear, where it's like kind of bulbous and then it curves. I don't know if any of that is making sense, but that's not how a pear slice looks. Once again, I'm concerned about what these objects are. And then I drew an actual baker with a plain cake on a plate, presumably about to, frost the cake. Guess plain isn't the word. Naked's probably a better word, but you know what I mean. So this drawing took so long. There's so many different elements. I mean, when you think about it, it's not really that complicated. It's just a lot of little things, and there's so many steps to a drawing, so you have to do all those steps for each individual item. So I try not to worry about everything being perfect. Like, there are some areas where the perspective's a bit wonky. The stand mixer, I didn't even look up a reference for besides the pedal attachment, because I could not remember how that looks. It's a weird shape, okay? It's not perfect. I did just pull it out of my head, but it's good enough. I don't want to take too long on the drawing, so I just didn't want to worry about little things like that. Then when it came to the human, I wanted her to like come off as a mom, you know, baking for her kids. Cause I want this to be an amateur baker for some reason. I just felt like that had like a better vibe to it. So I want to have it just be like a mom baking for her kids or something. Rather than like a professional baker. I mean, you know, the way the drawing turns out, she could be a professional baker. There is nothing that does not indicate that. And there's nothing that technically indicates she is a mom. So I don't know why this gives mom vibes to me, but oh well. Then I did some quick coloring, mainly just with greens, purples, but then there are a couple of areas that had like yellow, like the cake and butter, and then a couple areas with brown. And I don't know why I did this. This was already a really long drawing that was taking so much time, and I still had like shading and shine to do. But I decided to do color line art, so I put on a clipping mask and started going over all the line art to make it colored. So by the time I finished all that, because that takes a while, I had spent way too long on this drawing, and I still had shading to do. So I just did some quick, sloppier shading and called it a day. Because my god, this was taking so long already. I should have just moved on and done better shading instead of focusing on making the line art colored. I didn't even have time to add hair texture. I just did some sloppy shading with black, which I just talked about how I didn't want to do. And normally in a video I do 3 drawings, and it's not going to come off as taking that long from how the video is going to be edited, but it took a while. So we only have 2 drawings this video. And I didn't even add good highlights to the knife because I didn't do really shine. I just did some quick shine on the stand mixer. It would have taken 2 seconds. I don't know why I didn't do it. I think I was just kind of done with this drawing after I had gone this far. And it's not even that great. I mean, there are a lot of issues, and I kind of wish I just didn't do the shading rather than shaded it super sloppily. And like I said, there's some perspective problems, and there's also definitely something wrong with like how the character's body is turned. I don't know, there's something wrong with the angle of her body. And also I think she's really short. It looks like she's supposed to be kind of far away from the island. So either the island's really tall or she's really short. And I think I've been staring at this drawing for too long. I like the basic concept though, and I kind of liked it when I'd like done the line art. I just started liking it less and less as it went on. Anyway, that is it for this video. It definitely was a lot of fun, so if you want me to do it again, make sure to like and subscribe. Also, comment what you would draw if you had these prompts. Or, alternatively, go draw what you would actually do with these prompts, and share it with me on my social media in the description below. And I will see you all next week.